How many Park Place and Park Avenue residents does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, assuming that resident has the proper information to do the job right. Here's what happens when a resident does not have that information. The resident told me once they finally figured out how to get it all apart, it took them an impossible amount of time to search around the city for a bulb to fit it. In the end, they just gave up, and we're so grateful that we are coming in here today to help them out. So how hard can it be to change a light bulb? This is what most owners think, because when they're thinking of light bulbs, they're thinking of a light bulb like this. Now, this is the only light bulb in the whole complex that's really easy. All the rest, a little bit tricky, require a little bit of information, which I'm going to give to you now. Like most fixtures, it's very hard to find another one. So if you end up breaking these glass, for example, you have to replace the whole fixture. So carefully untighten this to the left. The bulb is called a G9. You can get a Canadian Tire down the street. Use a piece of toilet paper to avoid getting the oil of your skin on the bulb. The shower fixture needs this to be squeezed out. This is just a regular bulb from down the street. Canadian Tire, $5, with a A19 medium base. So just your standard bulb. Also, you can get a spotlight. So the original bulb that was in here was a 50-watt floodlight, but these will work as well. You've got to push these prongs in and then push the whole unit up. This is a very common fixture, Home Depot special, $14, but a real pain if you break the glass, of course. The easiest way is to get a ladder and to shift the glass to where it moves. One of these prongs is the one that moves. So you push it towards that prong and then lift it out. And then it's just a standard A19 bulb. LED is great, 9 watt, around $5. You can save a bit of electricity. Putting the glass back on, put it in the prong that moves first, push it over to the side, and clip it back in. This one is probably, in my opinion, one of the most challenging light fixtures to change. It's very tricky. It is a 100-watt halogen T5, I believe it's called. First is the glass. You've got to wiggle this up, kind of shimmy it up. If the light's burnt out, don't worry about a piece of toilet paper, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put it on. Make sure the light is off. This is 100 watts, extremely hot. You've got to use your fingernail to push over the left bracket, and then you pull it to the right and out. Okay, so that is a 100-watt T5. Also from Canadian Tire, probably $7 or $8. Like that again. Shimmy it down, and you're set. Actually, I just realized this one is missing the diffuser. So most of them should have a diffuser on here, so that clips off. The original fixture for the original light bulbs for this fixture are a 75-watt par 30 bulb. So again, get a ladder, squeeze it out. This is a short neck, that's the original bulb. You can also get them in long neck. Either is fine. Just know that if you need to, putting the light back in, if you need to, you can adjust this plate right here. First thing you'll need to change the microwave light is a Phillips screwdriver. Tiny little screw that's easy to lose. This bulb screws in here. another Canadian Tire special. So the bathroom fixtures, best to just leave this glass alone. Keep it where it is. Get your hands underneath. There's two clips underneath that you've got to wiggle the fixture out. When you get the fixture out, unplug it from the side. Give it a wiggle. It unplugs from here. Now to get at the bulb, you've got to look for a small little area here in the corner that you can get your fingernail under to pry that open. Once you've got it open, you turn the bulb to the left and pull it out. This is a T5 28 watt 3200K bulb. Home Depot, 16 bucks. Put it back in, turn it to the right, and then when you're putting the cover back on, you've got to apply pressure in the middle gently all the way down until you hear that click. Look at the shape of the socket. Find your plug. With your left hand, plug it back in. And then pry it back up into those two clips. While we're here, come on in. Take a look at the shower bulb. So you've got to, come on in. Is it light enough? Can you see? You got a clamp here. So you got to pull the bulb back and out. Okay, so it's got a little clip here. The bulb has to come back and then out to get at it. Another specialty bulb. The key to this is it's got a intermediate, it's got a medium base, but it needs to have a flat face. That flat face is what allows it to get in to that housing and then basically behind that clip. Once it's in, you can roll it back in. This has got sprockets here on either end. You've got to push them in with your hand and then up. For the kitchen fixture, you've got to clip down and then turn to the right for this head to come down. When you get the light out, you've got to take this ring out. Sometimes there is a piece of glass. You've got to take that off. Push this wire out and then hold your finger onto the base of the pigtail and wiggle this bulb out. This is called an MR16, has two prongs on the bottom. They're extremely hot. Make sure the light is off when you change them. 50 watt. It's a 50 watt bulb. Okay, so you could get an LED similar to this for 7 watts, basically save some electricity. When you're putting it in, again, hold on to that base, wiggle the bulb in, and then you need to pull and push at the same time so that the bulb doesn't become disconnected. Once it's firmly seated inside, take the ring, place it back in, and reverse the steps. Perpendicular to the track, turn it to the right, and pull the switch down to get it back in the track. So this type of fixture looks deceivingly easy, but the challenge is that sometimes when you try to turn the glass, it can stick a little bit. So you've really got to push it quickly and to the left to get it out. Otherwise, if you see this part turning as well, you've got a problem. These bulbs, if you happen to get to this point, this is glass, by the way, difficult, very expensive to find and replace. Good idea to put it down. I'm a professional, I can handle it. Again, you've got the G9 and you've got to wiggle it and wiggle it back in to get those little metal brackets in. It's tricky. It is really tricky to get those in there. Okay, and then your glass cover goes in. Make sure it's firmly in there. Give it a little tug. If it's not tight, it's going to fall off and crash. For the stovetop units, these two lights are supposed to turn on when you pull this unit out. To get at them, you need to take out the filter, and you are getting at the bulb from the top and pushing it down. It's got a little clamp. Come a little closer. Okay, so this is a specialty bulb. It's called an MR11, 20 watts. You will probably not find this at a Home Depot or a Canadian Tire. You will need to call a wholesaler to get this. It's not worth your time. Give us a call. But if for some reason you do get this bulb in your hands, you've got to clamp it back up. You've got to find the tiny little holes underneath, push it up, hold the assembly, and then you've got to make sure these two little sprockets here are ready to go and out. There's a little notch that pulls up and out. Here's the second type of bulb for these hood fixtures. This one requires a small little screwdriver. That plate pops out there. And we have a small mini bulb. Extremely small. Do not confuse this with a slightly larger one about this size. All right, getting this back in here. Oh, it's got a clip in here. It's got a clip in here. That's not clipping. That's not clipping at all, is it? Okay, that's got to be up and down. Okay.
Oh.
Ah. That will not clip in. Okay, I think those have got to be moved a little bit. How hard is it to change a light bulb? Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh, get that there.
Yeah, good.